Hi, I'm Gemma Sharples from Business on Fire, and today I'd like to share with you 10 things I've learned about vans and vehicles. You might think, vans and vehicles? Why do I need to know that? But it's quite important when you're running a business, especially you have staff and you're looking to expand. First point I want to look at today is new or old. Now, in my construction company, I initially would buy older vehicles. I thought they're cheaper and it would be better to have the cash flow. And as things went on, actually I realised that that caused me an awful lot of pain. Vehicles were breaking down. The costs for them going in the garage were ridiculous. Also, I was having to then move jobs around. People weren't able to go to the jobs that were planned, so we had customer dissatisfaction. I was then having to send 2 of my lads to go to drop the vehicle off and then collect the vehicle, and then the same back and forward. So there was money being wasted left, right and centre. And my mindset, my thinking on that was, I will save money by buying an older vehicle, when actually it cost me more money. And with the new vehicles, I realised once I started buying the new vehicles that actually it was so much better. It might have been more expensive, as in the price tag, but it wasn't more expensive in the long run at all. The vans looked smarter and tidier. I didn't have any breakdowns, no mechanical really repairs at all. So one of my vehicles I've had now for 4 years and not had one repair on it at all. So it's important when you're looking at a vehicle, a van or a car, anything for your business, you need to be buying, I personally think, new. It will save you so much headache. So buy new, guys. Point 2 is buy or lease. Now, when I first started going to the garages and I looked and I thought, oh my word, like can I really buy this new vehicle? It's so much money. I initially thought probably better just buying it cash and then I know where I am. But actually I did learn that I'm better to lease it. Lease the vehicle. Because then that way I had the cash flow. I wasn't tying up huge amounts of my own important cash flow into a vehicle. I was able to pay it monthly. So if you are going to buy a new vehicle, which I suggested, make sure you do it on lease. Do not put all of your cash straight into a vehicle. Your cash is needed in your business because cash flow is king. Point 3. When I started going around the garages and having a little look, I was hit with all these different interest rates and all these different prices. And yeah, it was a bit daunting. And I'd look and I'd think, oh, well, that van's £8,000 and this one here actually, and that's on 8%, and this one here is £15,000. So my way of thinking at the time was, I'll go for the £8,000 van because it's way cheaper than the £15,000 van. But I'd missed out a crucial bit of information. I'd missed out the interest. Because by the time I'd got the van and was paying this interest on it, I could have actually had the van for £15,000 because that was on 0% interest. So if you are going to go for a new vehicle, make sure you pay particular attention to the interest on that vehicle and always go for 0%, nothing more. Point 4, once you buy a vehicle, you're able to then offset the whole amount against your tax. So speak to your accountant about what you're doing with your vehicles, let them know, because actually it could save you a lot of money just buying new. So make sure you get that information, let him know or her know, your accountant know what vehicle you're buying, and then they will be able to advise you with the tax on that. Great, eh? Less tax. Point 5. And it's all about your insurance, your fleet insurance. Now, initially when I first went into business, I liked everything paid. So I would pay for my insurance in one swoop. And then I realised, again, cash flow is king. So make sure if you are at the moment paying for your insurance for the full year, change that and change it immediately. Go to monthly because you need that cash in your business. Because as I've said before, cash flow is king. It's the heart of your business. So that one simple little tune can actually help your business get to where it needs to be. Point 6, signage. Now, lots of people sign things up and some actually business owners don't sign their vans at all. But in my experience, I signed all of my vans up and I made it very, very clear what services we offered. So it wasn't just a logo, it actually had the information there. Not too much that it was too hard to read, just the right amount of information that give the key points across to any customer on the road, what I could solve for them. And I found that once we signed the vans up and I track all of my leads that come in, as I said, customers who are new customers, I found that 15% of my new customers came from them actually just seeing my vans out and about on the road. So make sure you put that initial spend in the signing of your vehicles, because I've only had to do that once and that's still generating new customers all the time. Point 7 is the compound effect. And as I just mentioned about the signing of your vehicle, if you sign every single one of your vehicles and you have more than one on the road, you'll find there's a compound effect, because people will start to see your vehicle everywhere. And that's where I get people saying to me, your vehicles are everywhere. I see them all over the place. And what that is I've signed the vehicle correctly and they're out and about, and it's free advertisement when they're just sat in the traffic, when they're just travelling down the road, and people then start to recognise your branding, and it makes you appear, it can make you appear larger than you actually are, and you can position yourself in their minds. Point 8, and this is all about you knowing where your vehicles are. It's all good and well if it's only yourself who is using the vehicle, but as your business grows and expands and you need vehicles for your staff to travel in and to use, you'll find that you need to have trackers on them. Initially in the early days, I didn't place trackers on my vans, and that actually cost me a lot of money in wastage of time, and also I wasn't able to hold people accountable. So if you have got vehicles and people are using them, add your trackers. It just gives you the confidence to know that people are at the job when they need to be at the job. The van isn't sat around just wasting fuel and idle. You're able to track lots of different things with your vehicle. And also, if you need to, how long people are taking for breaks. Which at the end of the day, this is business and you need to have everybody accountable, and you also need to make sure that people are where they need to be when you've told them to be there. So trackers is key. Point 9 is fuel. Now, when you have so many vehicles, when you have one vehicle, it might not be that much of an issue. You fill your vehicle and that's fine. But as your business expands and you get more vehicles and more members of staff using those vehicles, fuel is something you need to track. You want to make sure that you're not spending more than you should be, and you also need to know how affected your vans are. So what I introduced, instead of just having our employees going out and filling the vehicles and handing in receipts, which meant that I was unable to track which vehicle had spent, was using so much fuel, and it was all a little bit in the air, I then changed to fuel cards. And this was then assigned to each staff member. And when they used them, it was telling me how much was put within the vehicle, and I could then work out the consumption over a week. And we made sure that our staff also, when they were doing this, would actually have a set day where they all came together and they filled the vehicles up together. So it just wasn't vehicles here and there and everywhere being filled all the time and wasted of time. There was actually a set time set aside to fuel those vehicles, which made my data and my collection of data of tracking the vans and also making sure that, the consumption of fuel was appropriate, made my job a lot easier. Point 10, and this is quite important. This is something that if it's not done, and you do have a team of vehicles out there, your money that you've ploughed into these vehicles could actually just be going down the drain, because it's all about your vehicle maintenance. And it's extremely important that you put time aside to ensure the vehicles are up to standard and safe, and that they're being looked after by the people you've passed them on to. So we have actually our staff come together once a week, and there is a main person who checks the vehicles, checks that the oil's correct, the tyre pressure's correct, everything's fine in them, and also the standard of the vehicle. Is it clean? Is it as it should be? Because at the end of the day, your vehicles are on the road. They need to be clean, they need to be pristine. You are selling an image. So you need to make sure that your vehicle is as you handed it over and being kept in the way that you need it to be. So it's all about accountability and ensuring that the staff are taking care of this vehicle as if it was their own. Hi guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. And if you'd like more free business tips, then subscribe. I also offer free business training. So if this is something you'd be interested in, developing your business and taking it to a whole new level and developing yourself, then have a look in the description below. Much love, Gem.